Hi, talking about health insurance, I thought I'd reach out to Mehnaz Munshi, somebody who's been actively working in the health insurance industry and would like to get her expert advice on what is the apt health insurance to be taken and how it contributes to our well being and obviously our community at large. So, over to Mehnaz. Hi, Mehnaz.
Hi Aarti, thank you so much for giving this opportunity to talk about health insurance on this platform.
Not at all. My pleasure. This is a platform where I look at actually inspiring and empowering people. And someone like you who's been in the health insurance industry and has interacted with customers for so long, it's perfectly good for you to share your intelligence, your knowledge, your skill set with people, and obviously empower and inspire others.
That's really good thought. Thank you.
My pleasure. And health insurance is a very sensitive topic and is a very topic where most people sort of it's concerned with the well-being of people, families, and of course community. And that is the reason why I understand health insurance is also made mandatory in UAE, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, so I have a few questions which I'm sure are very basic questions, but will elaborate and make sure that a lot of doubts are cleared in people's minds.
Sure.
So first of all, what is health insurance and why is it so important to take a health insurance cover? How does it work? How does it work?
Health insurance is like it's a sickness cover. It's a cover for uncertainties in life like illness, accidental, injuries, etc. It is very important because of course it can ruin your savings if it's not being taken, because it's like investment you put in your health.
Absolutely,
so you need
your well-being.
you need to make sure you take the best.
Sure. And how does health insurance work in UAE? So can one take oneself or how does it work?
In UAE, in Dubai, it is compulsory, so employer has to give it to their employees, and somewhere it is extended to the families as well.
Okay.
All the sponsors have to be given it's going to be given to the sponsors, the health insurance, along with the family. Other Emirates now it is made compulsory by the government. Northern Emirates are compulsory now. So slowly
Okay.
government are taking the initiative
Okay.
to make it mandatory.
Okay. And when you talk about health insurance, what should one consider while taking a health insurance? So you said like if companies are taking for staff and employees and sponsors are taking for employees, what about families? So when I'm like let's say taking an insurance for my dependent, what should I actually look for?
You should look for, especially if there are different type of plans in the market.
Mhm.
So depend upon your, pre-existing history or your lifestyle, you will choose the plan. Suppose if you are married and you have kids and wife, you will see the maternity is covered or no. For children, if you will see that the benefits are there to cover your children completely in uncertain illness or critical conditions.
Okay. Okay.
Apart from that, if depend upon your financial conditions, you can choose according to premium as well, which gives
Okay, you will
equal-
also be checking like let's say the network of hospitals covered,
Yes.
the sort of treatments and ailments covered, like dental is covered or not, optical treatments are covered or not, all
That's
those
the
things.
most important, because that depend upon the area you stay. Suppose if you stay in a remote place in UAE and there are only 4 clinics, if it's not covered, there is no point in taking the insurance. So
I
you have
understand.
to check the network,
Work as well.
the hospitals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then most people say, and that's the common psyche, the cheaper the best. So
Yeah.
should people look at going for cheaper insurance?
Not necessarily the cheapest is the best, not the expensive are the best. It all depends upon the plan you choose, and it depends upon what you need. If
Okay.
suppose your wife is expecting, it has to be a maternity cover, which is compulsory in Dubai but not
Okay.
in Emirates.
Okay.
Other Emirates now.
And what about things like, let's say, coverage, geographical coverage itself, whether it covers worldwide, or let's say talk about, whether it covers what sort of co-payments or deductibles are there and things like that. So, what do you end up paying every time you go and visit the doctor? So, should these things be taken into account as well?
Yes, of course, because many of the insurance cover worldwide. You have to check especially if you're a frequent traveler, you travel to your home country more. You have to look if they are covered on reimbursement basis or cashless facility, whatever it is. And co-payments are very important, because you should know what you're paying and it's give the value to your money, because sometimes a co-payment should not be more than what you're actually paying the consultation.
Exactly. So co-payment is what? Can you please elaborate? What do you mean by co-payment?
Co-payment is a fixed amount you pay for a health service like consultation, test, and pharmacy. But sometimes there is a cap. So it 20% co-pay, but you have to pay maximum of 50. So even if the charges are for the consultation is 500, you can only pay 50 dirham
dirhams,
cap.
I
So
understand.
there is like
But
that.
then there are some insurances that cover, have only co-payment for consultation at the doctor, but lab and say, let's say pharmacy are free, so there's no co-payment to be made there. Aren't those better?
Yes, so that is all depend upon the plan. So you have to see
all
how
these
the
things.
co-payments are there.
Got it. And when you talk about health insurance, what are your tips now? You've worked in the industry for so long, and you've obviously given insurances to so many customers. I'm sure there must be thousands of customers you must have catered to. So what are your thoughts when you think of a good health insurance? What are your tips that what should one look at in a plan that one can say it's value for money?
When you decide to take up cover, you have to first think about how much cover it's giving you, how much benefit it's giving you, if it's a value for your money, the network of the hospital it's covering or no. You have to check about your pre-existing diseases are covered or no. Any critical conditions shouldn't be excluded, especially like mental conditions, like not all insurance covers psychiatrists and everything.
Okay.
So you have to check all these
and then
things.
of course the geographical cover as well.
Yeah,
but let me ask you a question now. You talked about pre-existing conditions. So what do you mean by pre-existing condition or pre-existing illness? Can you please elaborate?
A condition which you have from maybe from childhood or maybe before taking a cover. Anything which is disease you have before taking a cover is pre-existing already.
So is there like it's not covered, or what can you elaborate?
Normally
more?
there is a waiting period. If you take a policy cover, there's a waiting period, and then only it will start covering pre-existing like a blood pressure or heart problem.
So you should check that the waiting period is much lesser, and that's what it is.
Yes,
so basically health insurance is something which is unavoidable. You should check for obviously value for money. You should check for the network. You should check for the geographical coverage, and of course you should check for the ailments that are covered itself.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's such a brilliant tip. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. I really
You're
appreciate it. Well, keep inspiring, keep educating, keep acknowledging, and then keep ensuring the interest.
Thank you so much,
much.
Aarti.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for-
Thank you.